The observation deck of the Zalorian fleet. The Zalorian High Council had watched 1,000 civilizations rise and fall across the spiral arm of the Milky Way. They had catalogued species that breathed methane, creatures that communicated through gravitational pulses, and beings that lived for 10,000 years without blinking. Nothing had ever disturbed the Council's composure. Until today. Fleet Commander Varek pressed 4 of his 6 limbs against the observation glass, his bioluminescent skin flickering an involuntary pale violet, the Zalorian equivalent of a cold sweat. On the screen before him, a human vessel had just dropped out of faster-than-light transit at the edge of the neutral corridor. Standard procedure. Expected. Logged. What was not logged, what no Zalorian intelligence report had ever mentioned, was the thing strapped to the hull of that ship. Analyst Dren, Varek said quietly, "What are we looking at?" Dren's 3 eyes cycled through magnification lenses. His voice came out thin. The humans call it, a Titan. Aboard the human vessel ISV Resolute. Captain Mara Okafor stood at the bridge window with her arms crossed and a thermos of black coffee pressed to her lips. 43 years old, silver threading through her locks, with a scar along her jaw from the Kepler conflict, she had the kind of stillness that made junior officers nervous. "They've stopped moving," Lieutenant Dario Voss reported from his station. "Good," Mara said. Behind her, the ship's engineer, Hendricks, pulled up the Titan's status feed on his console. 17 meters tall. 680 tons of layered carbide armor. Humanoid in shape, 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head, but assembled from a century of human engineering fury. The Titan-class exoframe was not a weapon in the traditional sense. It was a statement. A compressed message written in alloy and thermonuclear actuators. "We survived long enough to build this. Think carefully." Mara set down her thermos. "Tell them we'd like to talk." The Zalorian War Room. The council chamber erupted. Admiral Sereth, the oldest living Zalorian, spread all 6 arms wide to restore order. Silence. The room obeyed. "The human vessel has requested dialogue. This is not aggression." "Not yet," hissed Commander Varek. He pulled up 6 decades of Zalorian intelligence files on humanity. A species barely 300 years into interstellar travel. Tribal in origin. Prone to self-destruction. They had fought 4 internal wars since achieving orbit. 4. The Zalorians had predicted they would collapse before reaching the neutral corridor. Instead, they had arrived with a god bolted to their ship. "How many of these Titans do they have?" Sereth asked. Dren checked. Rechecked. "Our intercepts suggest 412 active units. Possibly more in production." The room went absolutely silent. Sereth felt something he had not experienced in 200 years of military command, a cold, crystalline, undeniable tremor moving through the roots of his certainty. 412. The neutral corridor, open channel. The communication link opened. Mara leaned toward the mic. "This is Captain Mara Okafor of the Integrated Systems Vessel Resolute, representing the Human Interstellar Compact. We're here to establish the terms of the Corridor Accord." She paused. "We come without hostility." A long silence followed. Then Sereth's voice came through, measured, ancient, carefully neutral. "We acknowledge your arrival, Captain Okafor." A pause that lasted exactly 3 seconds too long. "We also acknowledge your companion." Mara allowed herself the smallest smile. "Unit 7. She's just here for the weather." On the hull, Unit 7, the Titan designated for this mission, piloted by Sergeant Amara Osei, a 26-year-old from Accra who had qualified top of her class at the Titan Academy, shifted her enormous frame almost imperceptibly. A slow, deliberate turn of the head toward the Zalorian fleet. Somewhere on the Zalorian flagship, 7 crew members involuntarily backed away from their observation windows. After the accord. The treaty was signed in 40 minutes. The fastest diplomatic resolution in Zalorian recorded history. As the Resolute powered back toward human space, Dario pulled up the intercepted Zalorian internal communications, flagged, translated, and color-coded red for urgency. He read it once. Then read it again. Then turned slowly to Captain Okafor. "Commander, they're calling us the architects of ruin." Mara picked up her thermos. Took a long sip. "Good," she said. "Let them wonder what we'll build next." Outside the hull, Unit 7 folded her arms across 400 tons of human ambition, and waited.